Food is a necessity for life. However, some in Central Virginia are food insecure. Feed More is here to fight the hunger by feeding 200,000 people every year in Central Virginia.
It's really the ability, as I said, to really see firsthand the impact that I'm having and the impact that the others that help raise money have had.
Feed More to me is our volunteers, it's our clients, it's our staff, it's the community that we serve.
It's a wonderful place, in short. It's an organization that collects, prepares, and distributes food to people who are hungry, whether they're families, children, seniors. It's about 200,000 people in Central Virginia that we support, and we cover 34 cities and counties that run from the Northern Neck to the Carolina line and from Louisa to New Kent County.
We have volunteers pretty much everywhere, so we have folks who are helping out in the kitchen. They help with the prep work, they help with the actual meal preparation as well as packaging the meals. We have volunteers who do deliveries every single day. We have volunteers who sort the shelf-stable items that come through food drives in our distribution center. They sort through perishable items, and then you have volunteers who are really all across the building in various different departments.
How many meals do y'all prepare a day?
It's anywhere from 3,000 to 3,500 meals on a daily basis, and some of them are Meals on Wheels, the others are for children in our after-school programs. Our volunteers come in with a lot of passion and drive for what we do and what they do, what they achieve. It's a fun place to work. They're making an impact, so all of that kind of makes for a really lively environment.
What is your job at Feed More?
I am in charge of the fundraising operation for Feed More. So I oversee a group of fundraisers and volunteers that help us raise about $9 million annually. And then we're in the early stages of a $19.5 million comprehensive campaign. So it's really kind of coordinating all of that.
I am the Director of Volunteer Services, and I also manage the backpack program.
For CFC TV, I'm Michaela.
Sometimes you tend to overlook the people who do the smaller jobs. Who cooks for you? Who does your laundry? Who takes the trash out? Terry Moyer, the after-school custodian, gives us insight on his life here at Verina.
I'm the supervising custodian at night for 8 other people. When I go into a room, I'll see what's on the floor. Well, to make it easier, I could go into a room and it's beautiful. I mean, it's going to be dirt, but it's beautiful. And harder is when I go in there and there's stuff spilled on the floor, bottles on the floor, pens on the floor, pencils on the floor. I mean, it's a mess. I was cleaning the boys' bathroom. And I think 3 guys come walking in there to use the bathroom, and on the way out they said, "Appreciate how you keep our bathrooms clean." It sort of makes you feel that you're doing your job, I guess.
How do students and teachers impact your job on a daily?
The teachers are great. The kids that I know, I don't know everybody, but are super.
What do the students do to make your job easier or harder?
Just try the best to make my job easier. You know, not throw everything around when, you know, it's so easy to reach down and pick up stuff. We've got trash cans in the room, the bell rings and boom, they all go. And there are some students that, you know, we touch base with. But it's nice to have that. I'm a people person anyhow. And I'd do anything for anybody, so.
So next time you see someone doing a little job, make sure to give them a big thanks.
I'm Callie Garland. My cousin, Tiffany Burke, is an outstanding role model and softball player because she inspires people through her disability.
It never really affected my life. I always did what everybody else did. Mom always put me into sports that I wanted to play, never held me back. So I just adapted and learned different ways to do everything.
Were you ever bullied?
Not really. I remember once a kid had said something when we were younger, and then he came up to me the next day and said he was sorry, and he was like, "I actually wish I had one hand."
Tiffany has never let her hand slow her down. She was born without a hand, so she has known no other way. She has never considered using a prosthetic.
When I was younger, we used to go to the Shriners Hospital down in South Carolina every year, and They used to talk about it, but I never needed it because there was never anything I couldn't do. I rode a bike since I was like really young. I cheered.
She always pushes herself and never lets her hand hold her back. Despite her hand, Tiffany still loves to play sports, such as softball.
Growing up, I always played first base. I pitched some. Mom never really liked me to pitch. That's one thing she always got nervous about. She was scared I'd always get the ball might hit up the middle and I might not get my other glove on fast enough in the hand and catch it. My two cousins, we all started playing t-ball together when we were really young, and it just stuck and we kept playing. I still play to this day.
Her hand has never been a setback. It was all mental.
I always wanted to prove that I could do anything anybody else could do. I always pushed myself and made sure I could do everything. Nothing stopped me. And if it was, I'd practice twice as hard and overcame everything. So I could do everything anybody else could. Made me the person I am today. It made me overcome everything. And I don't really use it as a power. It's just who I am.
She is also a great role model for her niece and daughter. She has always put her family first.
Or the best auntie. Q.
Q.
Peyton. You wanna come say hi?
Tiffany and her niece Bailey are very close. They share an unbreakable bond along with her 1-year-old daughter Bailey.
You wanna throw?
No. I just want to.
Here, Bailey. Come here. You wanna do a stand with Peyton or something?
It's almost like I still have my other hand. Since I've never had it, it's just always came natural in everything I've done. I might have to work a little harder, but you can do anything. Put your mind to it.
Hello, I'm Raleigh Jo. I'm here to update you on Paisley Heath, a little girl that was diagnosed with a rare genetic condition. At age 9 months, Paisley was admitted to the hospital for RSV. After discharge from the hospital, she continued to get sick. Blood tests showed she was anemic. After 5 months of multiple hospitalization and countless specialist visits and tests, she was diagnosed with Diamond-Blackfan anemia. Diamond-Blackfan anemia is a rare genetic disorder where the bone marrow fails to make enough red blood cells to supply oxygen to the organs. DBA affects about 7 in every 1 million babies.
What is the hardest part of her condition and how has it impacted your family?
Just that she has to have a lot of appointments and treatments, and just disrupted her being a kid. You know, she's out of school right now, so it's been hard on her.
What does Paisley do on her free time?
She loves it when she gets to play with other kids, because that's kind of it's not something that happens all the time.
How many doctor's visits does Paisley have a week?
It's down to not even once a week, but on average about once a week.
When did she have a bone marrow transplant?
February 9th, 2018.
How long did she stay in the hospital when she had a bone marrow transplant?
47 days, a long time.
How has the condition impacted Paisley's life?
She had to stop going to school and stay away from germs, so she has to wear a mask whenever she's outside the home. So it's been hard. She doesn't get to go out, and do a whole lot of stuff like normal kids.
Though Paisley continues to live life with Black Diamond anemia, she looks forward to returning to school, playing with other kids at recess, riding the bus, and participating in book buddies. I'm Raleigh Jo reporting for CSC TV.
Henrico Heroes, a mentorship for grades K through 12 throughout the district, is directed by Leslie Waller, who is here to talk to us about it today. 38 programs in all of the middle and high schools, and 12 elementary schools. We are serving over 300 students.
My involvement came in last year when I decided to apply and accept the position. Mentoring is very important to me. I have been a mentee as a middle school and high school student, and even as a college student. And so I know the value and the importance behind mentorship, and it's something I'm very passionate about. And so to provide program support to those programs that exist in Henrico County is something that speaks to my heart, and so I'm very glad to be able to do that.
Mentoring provides various different experiences.
Those who have been mentored end up mentoring other individuals, and I think that the reason behind that is because of the impact that it has. I think that when someone takes their arm and takes you under their wing, it allows you to sometimes see things that you may have necessarily seen in your own self. So they inspire you to reach beyond what you may even think is your potential and go beyond that, and it pushes you. And so once you have been mentored, you want to be able to do that same exact thing for other people, with hopes that they can aspire to be great and to live out their dreams.
Since last year, they have increased 115% in their recruitment efforts.
We're able to pair more students with a mentor in our county, specifically at the elementary level. That is huge. When it comes to mentoring programs, one of the biggest challenges would be recruitment. And so for us to have grown in that area significantly really says a lot about our community, and that they notice that there is a need to come into the schools and be a caring adult to a child. Studies show that when you mentor a student or a child, if you will, you help to build resiliency, how to be able to tackle and overcome many different obstacles that you may face throughout the course of your life, which is huge.
Mentees hope to accomplish one big goal.
My hope is to be able to have them do the same, be inspired so that they can inspire.
Mentoring is a positive cycle. Everyone can truly benefit from having a mentor.
The fact that relationships rule the world, and it's important to be able to connect with other individuals that have profound experiences so that they can help you learn and grow and provide some type of insight. So a mentoring relationship ends up being a reciprocal relationship, and so it's one relationship that does end up impacting two lives.
I'm Taylor Daniel reporting from CFC TV.
Let's meet Monica Manns, the Director for Equity and Diversity in Henrico County Public Schools. For those who don't know, can you introduce your department?
So I am the Director of Equity and Diversity for Henrico County Public Schools. And we are charged with addressing and supporting issues of inequities here in Henrico County, as well as supporting our diverse staff and student population.
Is there a goal that you have already been able to achieve in your time working for the county?
So I sit on the district leadership team, and I feel like I've been able to serve as a consultant to support some of the considerations they've had. And so by doing that, I think that we've moved the needle a little bit with the curriculum. So you're going to see the curriculum that's going to be rolling out. It's going to be a much more representative of the diversity in our district. We've been able to get more books in that represent the diversity in our district. One of the things that I'm pretty proud of is that we have an EDAC committee, and we are looking at the strategic goals to figure out how we are going to identify objectives that are going to align with our goals of supporting inequities and diversity in our district.
What is the most challenging thing about your job?
Trying to make sure student voices are heard and not adults, because I think adults oftentimes have an idea of what we want, and students have a desire for what they need. And so I really try to do a balancing act of ensuring that I have student voice at the table, so that as I'm either making a recommendation or I'm making a choice, that I feel as if I've consulted with students, I've heard from students, because I do feel sometimes as if we as adults believe that we know best, and not that we don't most of the time, but much of the time, especially in this work, we really need to make sure that we hear student voices, because we show up, we have our jobs because of you all, and so it's important that we respect what you all have to say.
Students being the majority in HCPS, what can they do to directly help your department?
So wonderful you ask. So one of the things that I would say is that we have equity ambassadors now in every high school, and part of that is I ask the students actually get involved and be in there. And what's wonderful about the equity ambassadors is I don't tell them what to do in their school, I just expect them to do it. So that means students drive what it is they're doing. I just show up at the party or the activity, and then I figure out how I can support them to get whatever it is that they particularly need. And I'm hoping that the design of that really speaks to students so they feel like they have a voice. So that's one way that they can get involved. We're going to be doing some cross-county things. We're going to be doing an Equity and Diversity Book Club. We're going to look to do a podcast potentially. I've been asked to do a podcast. I'm not quite sure. Depends on how this goes. I would love to have student voice and involvement and engagement with that. I'm trying to educate myself on how do I get access to students since I'm not a principal any longer and I'm not in the classroom. So I have a website, and the EDAC committee, we have a communication team. I invite you all out. It's an open committee. Anyone can come, but they're actually rebuilding and redoing my website. And so you'll be able to find updates, and the podcast, as well as the YouTube channel in my head should be on there. But now again, my head and the technology part may not always line up, but that's what the dream is.
On a related note, what can students do every day to create a more inclusive and diverse community?
Be kind. If we start off with the idea of just being kind, it would move so many other issues. Because when you're kind, then you're thinking about what the needs of the other person are. Because that's what being kind is. Being kind isn't just like, oh, I smiled at you. Being kind is saying, what is it that you need from me that I can give you that doesn't harm me, right? And so if someone were to say, if we just started with kindness, so many of the things that we see or do would be addressed, and you all may work be out of a job, which would absolutely be wonderful.
I'm Stuart Anderson, reporting for CFC TV.